Next up, I would like to invite someone who I met back in, 2007, when the first time my wife and I traveled to the UK, and we had a little, well, at that time, that was the biggest collection of CHMers ever in one place. There was about 8 of us that met up at the Dickens Inn. But she then became, she decided that she was going to kind of do what we over in the CRF decided to do, is advocate for ourselves and try to do what you can to push towards that cure. And she's going to speak to you a little bit about what she's done and how helping the cause helps you at the same time. So I'd like to invite Emma Salisbury. Come on up. Love this woman.
Oh, right. I don't do this very often, and I'm a bit nervous. So I've sort of written down what I'd like to say. But for those that don't know me, my name's Emma Salisbury, and I have a 19-year-old son, Tommy, who has choroideremia. So I'm here today as his mum, but I'm also here today to represent the Tommy Salisbury Fund at the charity Fight for Sight. So a little bit of history really about me. From the days of Tommy was diagnosed at Moorfields in London, it was February 2004, and he was nearly 5. And really a little bit about how we felt, me and my husband and my family, our sort of world fell apart a bit that day. A lovely little boy who didn't really have a care in the world was one day going to face many difficulties, and it was really out of our hands, and we couldn't really do anything to protect him from that. Initially, I think we went through a period of grief, waves of emotions. Some days we were sad, some days we were angry, some days we were scared for his future. And I'm sure, we just didn't really know what to do. And I'm sure there's lots of you in this room today that can relate to that, especially as a parent or, as a partner. And I think it's the helplessness that was most difficult for me to deal with. I didn't want my perfect little boy to have problems with his sight, and I really felt that I had to really do something. A few months later, I attended a charity coffee morning for children who had been through a bereavement, and they raised £500. It was a lovely morning. We had coffee and cake, and I realised sort of after that, I could do this. I could do that. I could raise some money to research in finding a treatment for Tommy and for everybody else. I really felt that I'm not really somebody that can sit around and do nothing. I needed to sort of turn my sadness into doing something positive and hopefully help him as well as other people with choroideremia. My granddad had choroideremia, and so I'd sort of known about it in our family growing up. I never remember my granddad being able to see. And then obviously Paul and I, when we got married, and I knew that I was a carrier, I knew that when having children, there could be a possibility that we would pass it on to them. So after Tommy was diagnosed, I thought, there must be treatment somewhere, there must be something going on, and I started to search, looked at Google, searched everywhere, and really it became apparent that there really wasn't really anything that I could find anywhere. So I contacted Corey at the CRF, and we had a few chats, and he told me that the CRF was supporting Professor Miguel Seabra in the Imperial College in London, and that maybe Paul and I should make an appointment to go and see him and talk to him about what he was doing, which we did. And really for the first time since Tommy was diagnosed, I think he gave us a bit of hope that there was something that was being done. It was really, it was in the early stages of the study, and so that was really where the Tommy Salisbury Fund at Fight for Sight really, took off. I didn't really know anything about Fight for Sight. I didn't realise what they did. I'd never heard of them before, so I made an appointment to go and see them. We thought about setting up a CRF in London, but with that came a lot of sort of, I needed to have papers signed and audit accounts, and I just thought, I really want to get out there, raise money, find, put it towards research. So really Fight for Sight and I, it was just a really good partnership. They sort of did that part of it, and we literally just did the raising of the money and doing whatever we could in order to get some more funds. So after being to see Miguel, we said that that's it now. We gave us the determination to continue. We got to know his team really well in London, and we trusted each other, and I think, you know, it was a great partnership between us. And I never sort of realised how much this would impact our lives, and from raising money, supporting other families and affected with choroideremia, we were also creating awareness, you know, to help to get Fight for Sight and choroideremia as much publicity as possible, and this sort of became our mission. Fundraising has been so much fun. We've had marathons, we've completed walks, held golf days, discos, themed parties, coffee mornings, shopping nights, and many more things. It's just amazing how quickly the money grows, with small amounts being added up after each event. We had no idea really how generous and supportive people could be. As I said, we started off with the coffee morning, but over the years we've got more and more support from friends and family, and we now take on bigger things. But if you'd have asked me 15 years ago whether I'd have ever run a marathon, done a mud run, I would have laughed, but now I've done both more than once. And so have many of our fabulous supporters. We've raised around £600,000 so far, and Tommy's like any other young man of his age. He spends hours on his computer games, he goes out with his friends, he's captain of his football team. But he has started to have difficulties when it's dark, and at 17 he failed the DVLA field vision test, which was a really low point for us. I mean, we'd had a lot of supportive, positive results with with our fundraising, and this was really the first time that Tommy really did, you know, realise the impact of having choroideremia. You know, he loved cars growing up, and finding out that he'd never owned one was really quite difficult.
I suggest you come to Italy to take one, it's much easier to transport.
So in 2011, after giving £350,000 to Miguel Seabra's study, the news that we had all prayed for came. There was going to be a clinical trial for choroideremia. All our hard work had made a difference, and we had played a key role by supporting his studies, leading to identifying the function of the protein causing choroideremia. This was vital in assessing the feasibility for the gene therapy treatment to stop choroideremia progressing. This also enabled Professor Miguel Seabra and Professor Robert McLaren to collaborate together and take this procedure from the lab into the clinic to start the clinical trial on choroideremia patients. If successful, this would stop the progression in the treated eye of getting any worse. This was the most amazing outcome, and finally there was more than just hope. Robert McLaren said in an interview after the first patient had successfully had the treatment, "We should not underestimate the power that individuals can have in influencing the course of research through their fundraising activities." And you know, that is really so true. And you know, you really can make a difference by raising money. And I think, you know, for us as well, we were very lucky that we gave the money to the right time, to the right place, and that the study was being done. And this has, you know, encouraged us to continue to do more and to raise as much money as possible, and to really take the clinical trial hopefully to the end stage where the treatment will be available for everybody here. By finding a treatment for Tommy at the forefront of our lives, this has helped us all emotionally. It's kept us all positive for his future. It has also enabled us as a family to talk about CHM openly, where there's never been any secrets about what was going to happen, but the continued results from Miguel's study made most of our conversations positive and very hopeful. We are overwhelmed with the continued support and kindness from our family, friends, work colleagues and people that don't always know us personally. Their energy, passion and commitment to help us achieve our goal is truly amazing. After all these years, they are still behind us and will be on our journey until the treatment has been approved and Tommy and all the other people with CHM have their sight saved. This is why fundraising is so important. So get involved. Being motivated will help the way you feel. It helps you feel part of a team. We can do this together, and tackling it together is the way forward. You don't have to raise millions, but every penny counts in our fight for CHM sufferers. There is no downside, and when the results are looking positive, you have helped make this happen, and that's the most wonderful feeling ever.
You're not going anywhere. People wonder why I love this woman. She's one of my rock stars. To add a little bit onto what she was saying, it is, again, it's been touched on. We all know the feeling of aloneness. We all know the feeling of lack of control, that we can't control our surroundings. By getting involved, that's what gives you that control. You are taking an active part in your own cure. And fundraising, as Emma pointed out, is not that difficult to do. Let me ask you a question. Let's show of hands. How many people in this room have a birthday? Okay. Every one of us has a birthday. Okay. So now think, we have about, 60 people in this room. You all have a birthday. 2 weeks before your next birthday, put it out there to your friends, your coworkers, social media. Please take and make a donation towards the Tommy Salisbury Fund in honor of my birthday. Let's say you raise 100 pounds, right? 100 pounds is not that's not difficult to do. But in 100 pounds, and your brain is going, yeah, but that's not much. Well, now multiply that towards the 60 people in this room. Multiply that towards the people in your family and your friends who you ask to do the same thing. It adds up. Do the math. I'm not good at math. It took me 4 years to pass Algebra 1. Okay? But it's math even I can understand. So, and then you have done, you went through it fast, so do it again slowly, the different things that you've done now.
We've done the marathon,
and you have the Tough Mudder coming up again.
9th of May, yeah. Tough Mudder, I've done other mud runs, we've done walks, we've done parties, balls, golf days. Yeah, lots of, really, if anybody asks me to do something, I do it. Really. Cage fight, I did a cage fight at the O2. Yeah, one of my friends trained as a cage fighter for Tommy.
Oh, no kidding? Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but lots of people here today have all contributed to Tommy's Fund. And all of you know, but all of you, thank you so much because what we've achieved is because of all of you. Most people here have contributed at some point into Tommy's Fund.
That is awesome. And I know Nick is somewhere in here. Is Nick still here?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah. There he is. He's hiding in the back. Hey, brother. I didn't even get my hug yet.
No, I haven't either.
And you haven't either? No. Nick, get your butt up here. Get up. Come on.
Come on, Nick.
Get up here. Nick has also done fun. Give me my hug. Hey, brother. All right. Nick is semi-famous in the CHM world for a couple of reasons. One, you're bicycling through the Pyrenees, or was that unicycling?
Not in the Pyrenees, no.
Yeah.
That would be something else.
Yeah.
You know, we had a two-week bike ride there, which raised about £5,000.
Yeah, very nice.
And then about 2,000 learning to unicycle around Castle Coombe racetrack.
Wow. I can't even do 10 feet on the unicycle, so you got my respect on that one. But again, that just shows other unusual ways. There are so many different ways that people can raise money. And put your brain to work, contact Emma, or contact Nick too. And become part of the cure. You will be amazed how much better you feel about your own situation when you are actually actively getting out there.